What did the class clown do that ended a teacher's career? Our sophomore English teacher, Ms. Vogel, had one sacred rule. Any note passed in her class got read out loud. Not by you, by her. She'd stand at the front, clear her throat like she was accepting an award, and perform your private words to 30 laughing teenagers. She called it consequences. We called it the execution stand. She'd read love confessions, complaints about parents, once even a girl's note asking a friend for a pad. She read that one slowly. Nobody passed notes by October. Nobody had to. She found other ways. She'd mock Sam's stutter by making him read Shakespeare aloud, then sigh. Take your time. We only have 50 minutes. She'd hold up quiz grades so the room could see the Fs. The counselor's office had a folder of complaints. Nothing ever happened. Her test scores were the best in the district, and the principal treated her like a trophy. Then there was Danny. Danny was our class clown. Fake sneezes during silent reading, taped a googly eye to the skeleton in bio, once answered every question for a week in a pirate voice. Ms. Vogel hated him, but Danny never got rattled. He'd take his detention slip, salute, and go back to scribbling in this beat-up green spiral notebook he carried everywhere. My prank journal, he'd say whenever anyone asked. Ms. Vogel mocked it constantly. Writing your little jokes, Daniel? At least someone in here has material. He'd just smile and keep writing. What none of us understood was what he was actually writing. In November, Vogel crossed her own line. Sam had written a note, not to a classmate, to himself. A therapist had told him to write down what he wanted to say before counseling appointments so he wouldn't freeze up. Vogel snatched it off his desk mid-class and read the whole thing aloud. His fears, his speech therapy, a line about wishing he could disappear. Sam sat there shaking while she finished with, well, that was dramatic. He didn't come to school for 4 days. Danny didn't crack a single joke that week. He just wrote. The first Friday of December was District Observation Day. Superintendent's office, 2 board members, a row of parents in the back, and our principal, Mr. Hayes, beaming beside them because Vogel was his showcase. She was in full performance mode, warm and witty, calling on students by name like she'd ever cared to learn them. 20 minutes in, Danny did the dumbest thing I'd ever seen. He tore a page from the green notebook, folded it, and passed it across the aisle, slowly, obviously, practically holding it up for her. The room went still. Even with an audience, we knew she couldn't resist the ritual. She didn't. She swept over, plucked it up, and smiled at the visitors. In my classroom, we believe past notes deserve an audience. A little lesson in consequences. She unfolded it and began reading aloud. September 12th, told Sam, quote, take your time, we only have 50 minutes, while the class laughed. September 19th, held Priya's failed quiz above her head for the room to see. October 3rd, read a student's private note about her period to the entire class. She stopped. But the room had already heard her, in her own teaching voice, performing a dated log of everything she'd done. A board member leaned forward. Please continue, Ms. Vogel. Her hands were shaking. This is a student's fabrication. Then you won't mind if I read the rest, Mr. Hayes said, and took the page. His face changed as he scanned it. The last line he read out loud, without thinking. If you're hearing this on December 5th, ask the other students for their copies. Chairs shifted. 14 kids reached into their backpacks and pulled out photocopied pages. Danny's log, plus their own signed accounts stapled behind it. Weeks of them. Priya's, Marco's, 2 from kids who'd transferred out. Sam stood up last, holding the counselor complaint folder his mom had photocopied, and set it on the superintendent's table without a word. Vogel's voice cracked. This is a childish prank. You cannot possibly take a clown seriously. Danny closed his green notebook and smiled at her one last time. Thanks for reading it out loud, though. You always did have the best delivery.